Where does happiness come from? I think there are a lot of institutions out that are trying to capitalize on happiness, on the promise of giving you happiness, whether it be your job, major religions, shopping industries, tourism initiatives, cold and refreshing Spud Light. But all in all, where does the happiness really come from, right? My chat and I had a conversation about artists the other day, about the need for perception, to feel validated, to feel like a real artist, to feel loved. And it was pretty split. I think on one camp was a bunch of people who thought that artists owe it to themselves to have a certain level of self-satisfaction, that artists can exist in a vacuum, and if anything, if art needs an audience, an artist can be their own audience, can be the only person to perceive their work and assign it value. And the other half said that art is inherently a social activity, is exchange, a conversation between yourself and another person. It is a dialogue wherein the artist gets recognition and validation from the person, and the person gets to enjoy the content. Some even went as far as to say, as the artist is somewhat selfish, not in a bad way, everything is good in moderation. The artist is somewhat selfish in that they are affirmed and expect to be affirmed by their audience. I think between those two, one of my chatters said something very, very cogent. Self-satisfaction is more sustainable and good for you. Interaction is also a completely different beast. I think we all intrinsically understand that funny number go up makes our heart race a little bit. It makes us excited, really. Because ultimately, what is that number? It's more than just a number, because we associate numbers with things. Numbers were created by humans as a form of measurement to measure things. So what are those numbers really about? It's when somebody says, don't look at the numbers or dismiss the numbers, they're not really interacting with why it's so important to you, right? So what is it? Those numbers directly translate to celebration. We are conditioned from a young age to enjoy interaction, or rather, interaction in and of itself isn't bad, but we are encouraged to take that in and own it. Too much, overly so. I might be cribbing from the Pirate Software x HealthyGamerGG conversation. If I'm not, thumbs up. Otherwise, if there bears any resemblance, I've cited the source. When we were young, when we were in the education system, we are told left and right that our work has more value when it meets the standard of another person. And when it meets the standard of the other person, we are often celebrated. We get pizza parties, we get recognition. In some places in the world, you get your name on a board, on a leaderboard, the same way you would playing Galaga at an arcade. When you were young, you enjoy a piece of cake. And why do you enjoy that? Because you've hit a milestone, you've hit a special occasion. And these occasions, when an occasion is made of you, is when we feel at our highest. To be celebrated is to feel loved, isn't it? To be given praise, to be told that you are fantastic or worthy or acceptable, it takes the strain off of yourself to think that of yourself. It allows you to put it on other people. So where does happiness come from? Many of us believe that happiness comes from the praise of another person. Maybe that is your toxic trait. Maybe that is your flaw, your hamartia. You believe that you can only feel happy when people observe you and enjoy you and tell you that you're good. But ultimately, a lot of people are happy. A lot of people are happy in their job, in their religion, in their monthly vacation to an exotic land, in their drink, in their little weekend bender. All these are so incredibly different, right? But all these people are happy. They say that they're happy. And what does a high view rate have in common with a whiskey bottle and a plane to South Jamaica? South Jamaica's a neighborhood, not a place. Never mind. What do all those have in common? Well, nothing really. They're so abstractly different. I mean, one could throw out a couple of hypotheses like consumerism or enlightened sense of self-worth, but I think the most cogent through line between all of these is you. You are the through line in this case. All these people are happy because happiness is experienced by people. Right? And going back to the conversation we had about artists and whether or not they can feel valid with or without an audience, I do still agree with that chatter. I still agree with the fact that self-satisfaction is much more sustainable than interaction. It goes beyond content creation. I should say, this isn't a video for VTubers necessarily. A lot of us have inexorably linked happiness and being celebrated. And how could we not? Whenever we're celebrating, we're happy. And whenever we're being celebrated, we're happy. We attach happiness to celebration because we're happy at celebrations. The only issue there is that we've conditioned ourselves to be happy at them and only at them. When we're not being celebrated, the rest of life becomes this dense fog, this underwhelming void, waiting for the next high, waiting for the next moment that you are excited again, that you have something to smile about again. But smiling shouldn't be paywalled. You shouldn't feel the great need to pay up or perform or do something to be happy. A lot of places espouse that they have the key to happiness, but ultimately it's you. Ultimately, no one but yourself has the ability to make you happy, which might be scary, especially for those of us who have a trouble making ourselves happy. But if the issue with feeling happy is other people celebrating you, if the problem with that celebration is other people being responsible for your happiness, we can shift the lens. You can celebrate yourself, and celebrate yourself about the most menial things. This is one of my favorite pieces of advice to give because I don't think we've exercised that. We've worked out the part in our brain that tells you that you are worthy just for being yourself. And these small things you do, going out of bed, working on a video, going for a walk, getting back home from work, all those are worth a small celebration. You're worthy of celebrating, whether or not somebody tells you it or not. And to that degree, you're worthy of being happy. Ding, 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 10 minutes.